Hey there, toy collector friends and Doctor Who fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, and that is short for Time Travelling Toy Collector. And that is ideal because today we're looking at a time travelling toy. So welcome to the channel if you're new here. I try and cover all sorts of things new and old. But in this instance, it's something very, very new indeed. This is the new Doctor Who Vortex figure collection, and it's the first two figures to be released under this new banner of Vortex collection, and it's supposed to be the pinnacle, generation 3 of articulated action figures or collectibles depending on your point of view. And I was going to do this as an all-in-one, all-encompassing video, but I saw a couple of people do theirs, and they, we tend to try and get things done somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes for a video, just to sort of retain interest and keep people interested as far as we can. But I think because of that, various elements don't get the conversation and discussion that I think is really quite relevant. So what I'm going to do is split this into three. I'm going to do this first one, which is looking predominantly at the packaging in terms of how it's presented to us across the external packaging that you can see here, and the two individual packages inside. Then I'm going to do one looking at the 15th Doctor and one looking at Ruby. So that's the plan, and hopefully that will mean that all three videos are essentially relatively bite-sized and easy to consume. Before we kick off, it would be great if you could drop a like for this video. That would be absolutely fantastic, really help promote and push the video. And also, if you do find it within yourself to drop a subscription, it's completely free, and it would absolutely help me get towards my next subscriber milestone. It would absolutely mean the world. And if you drop a comment down below to let me know that you've subscribed, I will thank you from the bottom of my heart, in person, directly. So anyway, on with the motley, and here we have, and it's I loved getting this out of the packaging that it came in, the original packaging, because it's I don't know if it can't even translate, but it's beautifully clean, and it's reminiscent design wise of the regeneration set that we got with the 13th Doctor and the 14th Doctor, where the 13th Doctor sort of wearing the amalgam multi-Doctor costume, and of course the 14th Doctor in that sort of white exterior display case. This mirrors that beautifully, I have to say, and it's a very interesting design aesthetic with these corners cut off. It looks a bit embossed, but it actually isn't. It's simply the two figures held together in this sort of surround dust cover, for want of a better phrase. And do you know what? It is so simple, but there is something about this simplicity that I absolutely adore, and I think it's fantastic. I will say that there has been some pushback online about the price point for the figures, because the set comes in at, I think it's around £40 from memory, or best part of £50, somewhere between 40 and £50, which essentially is around between 20 and 25 quid per figure. And for an action figure, I get that's a lot of money. That said, if you're looking at some of the figures that are out there in the market now, if you look at some of the Star Wars Black Series figure, for example, or you look at some of the deluxe or Voyager class Transformers figures, for example, you're kind of paying the same sort of money. So really, I think historically Doctor Who figures have perhaps not seen the most investment, but because of this supposed Generation 3 hyping of the figure itself, and the design and the multiple points of articulation, which we'll look into in those two separate individual deep dive videos into the figures themselves, I don't think between 20 and 25 quid for these figures is bad. And that is augmented for me when I see that they've bothered to care about the packaging. And there's more on that in a second. Full disclosure, I have already undone the figures just because I wanted to check something before I talked about it. And I was right in what I'd thought. So yeah, so essentially what you're seeing here is not a clever sort of Velcro box. It is a lovely wraparound dust cover, for want of a better phrase, that will help you store these, make it a nice present if you're gifting them, and it just looks good. It just looks good. Now, there'll be some people, quite rightly, because it would have been my younger self, would get this, tear this off, never see it again, throw it in the bin, and then rip the figures out of the boxes. And there is a part of me that wants to just go straight there and do that, because as I say, I've had a look at them, and they are magnificent. So, sticking this video purely for the packaging, they push out nice and simply. There's no magic trickery to it. It's just a cardboard sleeve. We'll pop that over to the side, and you can see here that we get the Doctor Who design on the side, TARDIS on the side, sort of pink hue to it there. BBC Doctor Who. The back of the packaging, we have a nice picture of the Doctor and a nice picture of Ruby Sunday, and as you can see, this is the Vortex Edition of the 5.5 inch or 14 centimetre scale collectible figures, or action figures, as we might want to call them. Character Options has really done themselves proud here. Again, the clean design, it's really, really lovely. And there's obviously some communication going on, because if you've seen my videos regarding the Master Replica's new Doctor Who range of TARDIS police box sort of plasmic shells, the police box bits of the TARDIS, which they've started releasing, essentially a soft launch of the new Doctor Who figurines collection, which they're picking up from the defunct Eaglemoss. This packaging design is very much aligned to that colour scheme and that aesthetic. So there's a real continuity in the merchandising, which I think is something we haven't necessarily seen effectively for a wee while, in my opinion. So the main event, the two figures themselves, again, very nicely presented. I'm trying to make sure you've got sight of them. We've got Ruby Sunday and we've got the 15th Doctor. Vortex Edition collector figures, and already you can see they look great. They do look great. I have sad sight of the retail figures, and I have picked up, or rather pre-ordered, the 15th Doctor retail figure as well, so we can do some comparison when that arrives. It has not arrived yet. But I also love the level of detail in terms of the accessories. Now again, more of that in the individual reviews and explorations of the figures, but you can see them there full and front on display. The mobile, the handbag. Here we have finally we have the psychic paper. We've got the new sort of sonic mouse come screwdriver, and in an interesting twist, but one that I'm here for, we have the landmine from Boom. So beautiful. You can see here the figures are tied in. When we come back to do the two individual ones, I will have gone in and taken the ties off the figures just for ease of filming. But something I do want to say here and now, and this is something I am super, super grateful for, and this is the thing, I opened it so I could check it. Too often, we find figures that are inside these sealed. Now, again, they're tied down for security, and I have no problem with that because that's very easy to fix. But you usually have to rip the plastic off the back to get to it, and it leaves the box in tatters or in little bits and ruined, and very, very unhappy camper here with the state of play. If you want to take a figure out, but you want to maintain the packaging, it usually means you have to buy two. What Character Options have done here, and I hope with all of the Vortex range, is they facilitated the removal of the figure without damaging any of the packaging. Yes, you have to untie it, but when you've finished playing with it or using it for photography or whatever you're doing with it, you can put it back in with the accessories, put it back in there, and it will look like this. How do I know? Well, apart from the fact I haven't undone it, I've taken them out. I've taken the inner tray out, looked at it, and there is no covering thing here. So you're literally, he is exposed. These are taped in, but you'll see that when we do the video for that. But I think that's brilliant because it really caters to that collector's need to keep things nice and pristine. And to be honest, this is a nice and pristine presentation box. You know, it is. Some people will bin it. Absolutely. Recycle it. That's great. Use the figure, film the figure, play with the figure. Absolutely is what toys are designed to be. I don't begrudge you that at all. But if you are someone that wants to keep it, and you don't want the rigmarole of having to pay, 80 quid to get 2 of these sets, then they've got your back. Finally, a toy company that's got your back with the packaging that will enable you to put the figure back inside and have a great time with it. So, I said I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I will come back and do the 15th Doctor, and I will do Ruby separately, but again, quite swift succession so that I don't keep you waiting too long. But from a packaging point of view, I think this is an absolute win. Anyway, I've been the Time Travelling Toy Collector. Thank you very, very much for spending time with me on this preliminary video for this 2-pack set. As I say, I will be back very, very shortly with looking at the 15th Doctor and then looking at Ruby Sunday as 2 separate videos. So essentially part 1 is this, part 2 and part 3 will be the 2 figures. But I just wanted to give time in each of the videos to do each component justice. So thanks for spending the last 10 minutes or so with me. You've been a fantastic audience. I've been the Time Travelling Toy Collector, and this has been the Character Options 2-pack Vortex Edition 15th Doctor and Ruby Sunday 2-pack. I'm very excited to have it, very excited to get them open, and very excited to show you what they're made of. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in a future, or indeed a past video. And it just remains for me to say that things of beauty really are toys forever. Bye-bye for now.